I never thought a steak dinner in the heart of Texas could shatter a family. But that's exactly what happened that hot summer evening in Austin. The place was the Golden Spur, the kind of high-end spot where oil barons and tech moguls rubbed elbows over aged whiskey and prime cuts flown in from ranches out west. The air smelled of mesquite smoke and money, and the low hum of conversations was punctuated by the occasional clink of crystal glasses. But that night, the loudest sound was my father-in-law,
Wayne.
letting out a belly laugh that echoed off the reclaimed barnwood walls like a thunderclap. He slapped his calloused hand, hardened from years of pretending to oversee his family's sprawling cattle empire, onto the starched white tablecloth, making the silverware jump. "That's a knee slapper," he boomed, his voice carrying across the room. The bill lay open in front of me. A sleek black folder with a number inside that could buy a decent pickup truck, $120,000. It wasn't just dinner. It was extravagance on steroids, vintage wines from Napa, Kobe beef draped in gold leaf, and desserts that looked like modern art. Beside him, my mother-in-law, Audrey, played her part to perfection, dabbing at her eyes with a linen napkin as if wiping away tears of joy.
Oh,
"Honey, did you see your face?
Claire?
You went whiter than a ghost in a snowstorm." Her southern drawl, honed from decades in Dallas high society, dripped with that fake charm that always set my teeth on edge. They both turned to me, their eyes sparkling with the kind of glee that comes from watching someone squirm. This was supposed to be their 45th anniversary bash, a celebration of enduring love or whatever facade they put up. But it was never about them. It was about putting me in my place, the small-town girl from Amarillo who dared to marry into their world. My husband, Liam, sat next to me, his face as pale as the moon over the plains. His knuckles were white from gripping the table edge, and I could feel his leg bouncing under the table like a jackrabbit ready to bolt. He opened his mouth to say something, but Wayne cut him off with a wave. "Well, go on, darlin'," Wayne said, gesturing at the bill like it was a joke prop. "Time to settle up. You handled the reservations so nicely. After all." The compliment hung there like a noose. Then came the punchline they'd clearly rehearsed. "Whoops," Wayne exclaimed, patting his pockets with exaggerated confusion, his tailored Western shirt straining at the buttons. "Looks like Audrey and I plumb forgot our wallets back at the ranch. Must have been in such a hurry to get here for this fancy shindig." Audrey gasped theatrically.
Oh,
"Shoot. You're right."
Wayne.
We were just so darn excited. They burst into laughter again, loud and obnoxious, drawing stares from the other patrons, folks in cowboy boots and Stetsons mixed with Silicon Valley transplants. They wanted everyone to see the poor gal who'd married up, now stuck with a tab that'd wipe out her savings. They expected me to freak out, to beg or cry, to call my folks back home for a bailout. Humiliation was their endgame. Liam's face twisted in anguish, his eyes pleading with me. For 3 years, I'd bitten my tongue through their barbs, smiled at their digs, and tried to fit into their world of big hats and bigger egos. But they'd always seen me as an outsider, a threat to their legacy. That night, though, something shifted. A calm washed over me, like a cool breeze off the Colorado River. My hand didn't shake as I picked up my water glass and took a slow sip. I set it down with a soft clink and looked them square in the eyes. First Wayne, then Audrey. Their grins started to falter, the silence stretching like taffy. "Don't sweat it," I said evenly. "It's already handled. I figured you'd pull something like this." Their laughter died like a fire doused with sand. Wayne's bushy eyebrows furrowed. "What in tarnation are you talking about?" But I just held their gaze, letting the moment sink in. This wasn't the end for me. It was just the beginning of them realizing they'd messed with the wrong woman. 3 years back, I was starry-eyed enough to think love could conquer all. Liam and I met at a rodeo fundraiser in Fort Worth. He was the charming son of ranch tycoons. I was the data analyst from a modest family of teachers and farmers. Our whirlwind romance felt like a fairy tale. But the engagement party at their massive spread outside Austin was my wake-up call. It wasn't a party, it was a cattle auction. And I was the heifer on display. The ranch house loomed like a fortress, with acres of rolling hills dotted by longhorns and oil derricks pumping in the distance, the source of their real wealth. Passed down from Wayne's granddaddy. Guests in pearl snap shirts and designer jeans milled about, sipping craft beers and gossiping. Audrey air-kissed my cheek without touching it, her eyes raking over my simple sundress like it was thrift store trash.
How?
Folksy, she murmured, the word landing like a barbed wire snag. Liam squeezed my hand, but Wayne whisked him away to schmooze with old money pals. I hovered by the barbecue spread, feeling like a stray dog at a pedigree show. Wayne's voice carried over the crowd, not reminiscing about Liam's childhood rodeos, but bragging about his exes. Y'all remember Brittany? Her daddy owns half the fracking ops in West Texas. Fine stock. That one. He wasn't talking to them, he was gunning for me, drawing a line in the sand I couldn't cross. Later, after the crowd thinned, Wayne summoned us to his study, a wood-paneled room smelling of leather and cigar smoke, with mounted deer heads staring down. He and Audrey sat behind a massive oak desk like judges in a courtroom. A little family matter, Wayne said gruffly, sliding over a thick packet. Prenup. Just protectin' the ranch and the wells. Nothin' personal. Liam tensed. Dad, we discussed this. It's unnecessary. Audrey chimed in smoothly. It's just smart ranchin'. Honey. Any sensible gal would get it. They stared at me, waiting for the explosion, tears, accusations of gold digging. But I picked up the document, heavy as a saddle, and read every line about trusts, land deeds, and oil royalties I'd never touch. When I finished, I asked for a pen. Audrey blinked. Wayne slid one over. I signed without a word. I'm Maureen Liam, I said calmly. Not your spread. Their shock was palpable, no relief. Just deeper suspicion. They'd met someone who didn't crave their fortune, and it baffled them. That night didn't end the feud. It fueled it. They switched tactics, chipping away at me like wind-eroding sandstone. The first real jab came a month after the wedding, at a Sunday supper on the ranch. I'd worn my best boots and carried a handmade leather tote for my parents, a splurge they'd saved for. Midway through my story about work, Audrey accidentally knocked over the gravy boat, soaking the bag in greasy mess.
Oh.
Butterfingers me, she exclaimed, eyes twinkling. Wayne grunted. That's what you get with cheap gear. Falls apart. It wasn't cheap. And it hadn't fallen. It had been sabotaged. I smiled through the meal, the ruined bag at my feet like a casualty. The hits kept coming. For Liam's 30th, they threw a blowout with a shiny new F-150 parked out front, bow and all. Wayne speechified about a man needing a proper truck for the family name.
Then, to me,
a $20 Walmart gift card. For your little kitchen gadgets, he winked, as guests chuckled. I burned with shame that wasn't mine. They were royalty. I was the ranch hand. But the deepest wound was a year ago, during a weekend stay. Audrey's heirloom sapphire necklace vanished from her jewelry box. She didn't accuse outright, just sighed dramatically, whispering about new folks in the family and trust issues. Liam exploded in my defense, but the poison lingered. Next morning, she found it behind the dresser.
No sorry.
Just a breezy wave off. That cracked something in me. Liam couldn't shield me forever. I'd have to stand tall myself. The shift inside me wasn't a holler, it was a quiet resolve. Like deciding to mend a fence before a storm hits. The perfect storm brewed at one of our obligatory family barbecues on the ranch. The sun beat down on the patio, smoke rising from the grill as steak sizzled. Audrey waited till we'd polished off the ribs before dropping her bomb.
Wayne.
Sugar. Our 45th is coming up. We gotta do something epic. Wayne puffed up. Name it.
Darling.
Sky's the limit. She hummed thoughtfully. Heard the Golden Spurs tougher to book than a front row seat at the Super Bowl. Booked solid for years. Her eyes landed on me like a hawk spotting a mouse. Claire, you're so handy with that computer stuff, resourceful as all get out. Why don't you snag us a table? Our treat. Naturally. It was a setup.
Plain as day.
The Spur wasn't just fancy, it was exclusive. Invite only for the elite. They wanted me to fail spectacularly. Then cluck about how some doors don't swing open for everybody. Liam jumped in.
Mom.
That's not fair. Nobody gets in there without connections. Let's hit up the local steakhouse instead. But I cut through. I'd be tickled to handle it. The table went quieter than a church mouse. Liam shot me a worried look. Wayne and Audrey hid surprise behind smirks. They figured I was clueless, biting off more than I could chew. Well,
Hot damn, Wayne boom.
that's settled. Can't wait to see you pull it off. Darlin'. Back home in our cozy Austin bungalow, far from their sprawling estate, I didn't scramble online for a Hail Mary. Instead, I dug out an old photo album from the attic. Flipping through faded snapshots, I found one of my dad, grinning ear to ear in his baker's apron, standing beside a young fella outside a rundown diner in Lubbock. Dad wasn't rich, he ran a small-town bakery, but he was generous to a fault. That young guy was an aspiring chef with big ideas and no cash. Dad loaned him seed money from his own pocket. No strings, just pay it forward someday. That chef? None other than Harlan Brooks. Now the legendary owner of the Golden Spur. I dialed him up. Mr. Brooks? This is Claire, daughter of Tom from Amarillo. Silence. Then a warm chuckle. I've been hoping you'd call for nigh on 20 years. Your pa saved my hide. What can I do you for? We chatted like old friends, and by the end, I had a reservation for 4. Next barbecue. I slid the confirmation card across the picnic table during pie. Wayne and Audrey stared like I'd handed them a winning lottery ticket. Wayne snatched it, blustering, "Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle." Must be my name finally carried weight. He claimed the credit, but I saw the fury in their exchanged glances. I'd turned their trap into my win, and folks like them hated losing ground. In the weeks before the big night, their sweetness turned cloying, like overripe peaches. Audrey called for girl talk, her voice syrupy but sharp. Wayne texted about the Spurs' famed dishes, joking, "Hope you're ready for a whopper of a tab."
Claire.
LOL. It was their new ploy, lure me in, then spring the trap. I could picture them scheming in their ranch den. She thinks she's hot stuff. We'll order the moon and stars. Then forget our cards. Watch her squirm Callan, her kin for help. But I wasn't idle. I rang Harlan again. They're plotting something fierce, I confided. He sighed. Your dad always said character shines when folks handle others' wins gracefully. I took a breath. I need a favor, something bigger than the table. It's about settling scores fair and square. I spilled it all. The prenup showdown. The accidental gravy spill. The insulting gift card. The missing necklace stunt. Years of feeling like dirt under their boots. He listened, then said, Tom was the best man I knew.
Time to honor that.
What's the plan? We hatched one, a custom legacy experience, tailored just for them. With a twist rooted in Texas charity law, making extravagance a binding donation. No loopholes, all above board. Like a solid contract. The night before, Liam cornered me in our kitchen, worry lines etching his face. Claire, let's bail. Say you're under the weather. I know Mom and Dad. They're cooking up trouble. I squeezed his hands. Trust me?
Hun.
I'm not getting burned this time. It's gonna be a night that changes everything. He searched my eyes, then nodded, though doubt lingered. The golden spur gleamed under string lights, its facade like a modern barn with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline. Wayne barreled in like he owned the joint, barking at the host about the best table. Audrey sauntered behind, eyeing other diners with that queen bee stare. Liam muttered apologies. I felt serene, like watching a play unfold. Menus arrived, leather-bound tomes of indulgence. Wayne didn't glance. Fetch your oldest bourbon, he ordered the sommelier. The one legends are made of. Price be damned. They piled on. Caviar from the Gulf. Truffle-infused brisket. Lobster tails bigger than your fist. Audrey cooed. Is that your most exclusive? Every order was a jab at me. Wayne patted my hand. Don't fret the cost. Sugar.
Tonight.
You get a peek at how the other half lives. They mistook my quiet for dread. Liam tried intervening. Dad. Ease up, but got shut down. Dessert came, pecan pie with gold-dusted bourbon sauce.
Then.
The moment. Harlan approached with the bill folder, placing it before me. Wayne gestured grandly. Open her up.
So.
Let's hear that total ring out. Harlan flipped it open. Wayne's eyes bulged. Then he erupted in laughter.
Oh.
Daughter-in-law. We left our dang wallets at the ranch. Audrey cackled along, waiting for my meltdown. The room hushed. But I stayed cool. Like I said, it's handled. I knew this was coming. Their glee froze. What? Wayne sputtered. I nodded to Harlan. Mind explainin' the legacy menu to my in-laws? He bowed slightly. Gladly?
Mum.
Turning to them. Everything y'all ordered tonight, the rare bourbon, gold leaf brisket, all of it was from our special off-menu legacy experience, crafted for your anniversary. Wayne scoffed. What's that hogwash? Just fancy grub. Harlan continued. Not quite.
Sir.
The $120,000 ain't just for eats, it's a pledge donation. Non-refundable under Texas charitable giving statutes. Transfers tomorrow to the state's biggest children's hospital fund, the one your ranch outfits touted supportin' for years. Though records show zip from y'all. Audrey went ashen. Wayne gaped. Their prank had backfired into a public good deed, witnessed by Austin's elite. No wiggle room, the law was clear, and they'd signed off implicitly by ordering. Audrey's composure cracked first, her voice a hiss like a rattlesnake. How on God's green earth could you swing something like this? You ain't got two nickels to rub together. I met her glare steadily, the weight of 3 years lifting like fog burning off a morning pasture. That's where you're mistaken, I said softly. That prenup y'all shoved at me? Best thing you ever did. Made me realize I couldn't lean on your empire. So I built my own corral. I paused, watching realization dawn. For 2 years now, I've run a data consulting firm out of Austin, helping ranchers and oil folks optimize ops with tech. It's boomin'. Their disbelief was sweeter than honey. But I had one more card to play. A gentle one to drive the lesson home without total destruction. Speaking of business, I continued, pulling a folder from my purse. I heard your outfit hit rough patches last month. Bad investment in some frackin' tech gone bust. Then, a mystery bailout kept the lights on. I slid the paper over. A shareholder report. That was me. Anonymous investor. Wayne scanned it, seeing my firm's name and the stake, 25%. Not controlling, but significant, enough to influence without crushing. Why? He croaked, voice small for the first time. I leaned in. Because family ain't about hoarding wealth or stepping on folks. It's about lifting each other up. Your legacy you guarded so fierce, I could have grabbed it all. But that's not me. This stakes my way in, partner. Not owner. Time y'all learned humility. The silence was profound, the restaurant's murmur fading. Wayne's bluster evaporated. Audrey's eyes welled with real tears this time. Liam's hand found mine under the table, squeezing with pride and relief. He'd seen the mask slip, the cruelty exposed, but also the chance for mending. We stood. We're heading out, Liam said firmly. As we walked away, I felt eyes on us, but it was admiration now, not pity. Outside, under the starry Texas sky, Liam pulled me close. You didn't just win, you gave Em a shot at being better. I nodded. That's the real payback. A lesson in kindness, Western style. Back at the ranch that night, Wayne and Audrey sat in their grand living room, the donation confirmation email glowing on Wayne's phone. The hospital fund would get the full amount, boosting pediatric care across the state. Real impact. Not just lip service. Audrey broke the quiet. We done wrong by her. Wayne grunted, but his usual fire was gone. Reckon we did. Time to swallow our pride. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a text from Audrey. Claire,
Can we talk?
over coffee. My treat. It was tentative, but genuine, a crack in the armor. I agreed. And over lattes at a local spot, she apologized, tears flowing. We were scared of losing Liam, of change. But you showed us grace we didn't deserve. Wayne joined later, gruff but sincere. That bailout. And not talking at all. Your family, real family. It wasn't instant harmony, but seeds were planted. Liam and I hosted barbecues where stories flowed without barbs. My firm partnered with theirs on sustainable ranching tech, blending old ways with new. The lesson stuck. Revenge burns hot, but redemption builds bridges. In the end, our family grew stronger, rooted in respect earned the hard way. But let's rewind a bit to flesh out how I got here. After that necklace fiasco, I threw myself into work. Data analysis wasn't just a cute hobby as they'd sneered. It was my ticket out. I started freelancing, crunching numbers for local businesses, then scaled up. A big break came consulting for a wind farm outfit, optimizing turbine placements with algorithms. Word spread. Soon, I had clients from Houston to Denver. Liam supported me, even when late nights strained us. You're a force, Claire, he'd say, kissing my forehead. But the in-laws' digs lingered, fueling my drive. When their company teetered, over-leveraged on risky ventures, I saw the report in a trade journal. Anonymously, I invested, stabilizing them without glory. It was my quiet ace. Waiting. The dinner plan with Harlan? We made it humane. No bankruptcy, just exposure and a forced good deed. Texas law on charitable pledges is ironclad. Once committed in a public setting like that, it's enforceable. No shady dealings, all transparent, with Harlan's lawyers reviewing. As months passed, change bloomed. Wayne volunteered at the hospital, reading to kids in cowboy hats. Audrey joined a women's group, sharing her story of growth. Liam and I, closer than ever, talking about starting our own family on our terms. Looking back, the hurt was real, but so was the healing. Life in the West teaches resilience like tumbleweeds rolling on, finding new ground. That's the beauty. Even in drama, there's room for heart. In those early days post-dinner, doubts crept in. Had I gone too far? But Liam reassured me. You didn't destroy, you rebuilt. And when Wayne called to discuss board seats, inviting my input, it felt like victory. We collaborated on eco-friendly drilling tech, turning their oil legacy green. Audrey even gifted me a new tote, handmade by a local artisan, with a note, for a woman who carries strength. Small steps, but meaningful. The anniversary became a turning point, not a tombstone. Friends asked about the big night, and we'd share laughs, minus the venom. It humanized us all, showing vulnerability under the bravado. With the dust settled from that fateful dinner, life on the periphery of the ranch empire took on a new rhythm. I dove deeper into my consulting gig, landing contracts that had me jetting to conferences in Vegas and Denver. My algorithms helped ranchers predict droughts, saving water and livelihoods real, tangible good that contrasted the in-laws' old-school wheeling and dealing. Liam, inspired, started bridging the gap, incorporating my tech into their operations. You're the future, Claire, he'd say. And for the first time, it felt like we were a team against the world, not divided by family lines. But healing wasn't linear. There were awkward holidays, Thanksgiving where Audrey overcompensated with compliments, Wayne grumbling but listening. One evening, over campfire esmores at the ranch, Wayne pulled me aside. Reckon I owe you more in words. That hospital donation? Got a wing named after the family now. Kids smile in cause of it. His eyes misted, a rare crack in the tough exterior. You could have sunk us. Why didn't ya? I stared into the flames. 'Cause sinkin' ships drags everyone down. Dad taught me, kindness ain't weakness, it's the strongest rope in the lasso. He nodded, pondering. From there, bonds strengthened. Audrey invited me to her book club, discussing Western lit with a side of soul-searching. We shared stories of our upbringings, her from old money, mine from hardscrabble roots. I envied your freedom, she admitted. We were trapped in expectations. Liam and I bought a modest acreage nearby, blending city smarts with country soul. Weekends meant trail rides, where conversations flowed freely. The prenup? We laughed about it now, a relic of fear. My stake in the company became collaborative. We innovated, turning profits toward community funds. Yet, the drama's echo lingered in quiet moments. I'd recall the gravy incident, now a family joke. Remember when Mom butterfingered the gravy? Laughter healed wounds. And the gift card? Wayne upgraded it symbolically. Gifting shares in a startup for your empire. Darling. The real twist came a year later. Audrey's health scare, a minor heart flutter. We rallied, me coordinating specialists via my network. In the hospital, the same one their donation aided, she gripped my hand. You're the daughter we needed, not deserved. Tears flowed. Forgiveness solidified. Life's lesson? Revenge tempts, but redemption endures. In the vast West, where horizons stretch endless, there's always room to turn back, mend fences, and ride on together. To expand, let's delve into a subplot. During my firm's growth, I mentored a young intern from a background like mine, small-town kid with big dreams. Echoing Dad's kindness to Harlan, I funded her education. When Wayne learned, he matched it, starting a scholarship fund. Paying it forward, like you taught. Social gatherings evolved too. No more inspections, genuine welcomes. At a charity gala, Wayne toasted me, to Claire, the woman who roped us into being better. Applause rang. I blushed, but felt seen. Liam and I welcomed our first child, a boy with his daddy's eyes and my grit. The in-laws doted, spoiling without strings. Legacy ain't just land, Audrey cooed. It's love passed down. Through it all. The West spirit, rugged yet forgiving, shaped us. Storms pass, sunrises follow. Our story, a testament that even in betrayal's shadow, humanity wins. As years rolled on like wagons across the prairie, our family tapestry wove tighter, threads of past hurts now strengthening the fabric. My consulting firm exploded. National recognition. Features in Forbes as a Western innovator. But success wasn't about proving points, it was building bridges. We expanded the company partnership, merging tech with tradition, AI for cattle tracking, sustainable oil extraction.
Wayne.
Once skeptical, became an evangelist. Claire's got the brains, I've got the brawn, he'd joke at board meetings. Audrey blossomed too, volunteering at the hospital, organizing fundraisers with a passion I'd never seen. You lit a fire under me, she confessed over tea one afternoon. We bonded over recipes, her fancy twists on my mom's chili, swapping life lessons. I was blind to my privilege, she said. You opened my eyes without shutting the door. Liam thrived, free from parental shadows, pursuing photography alongside ranch duties, capturing sunsets over derricks, exhibiting in Austin galleries. Our son,
Tommy.
grew amid this harmony, learning from grandparents' tales, the good, the bad, the redeemed. Why'd y'all fight? He'd ask innocently. We'd share age-appropriate truths. Sometimes folks fear change. But love wins out. The anniversary dinner became lore, a story told at gatherings with chuckles. Not bitterness. Remember when we forgot our wallets? Wayne would roar. Self-deprecating now. It sparked discussions on humility, inspiring others. Challenges arose, a drought hitting the ranch hard. We tackled it together, my data predicting water needs,
Their experience implementing.
no blame, just unity. In quiet evenings, stargazing on the porch, Liam and I reflected. You could have walked away, he'd say. But you stayed, made us whole. The ultimate lesson? In America's West, where pioneers forged paths through adversity, true strength lies in compassion. Revenge may satisfy momentarily, but forging forward with heart creates legacies that last. Our family, once fractured, now stands tall, like ancient oaks weathering storms, roots intertwined. To close the circle, Harlan and I stayed friends. He catered our vow renewal, toasting to kindness cycles. Dad would have been proud. In the end, life's a trail ride, bumps and all. But with forgiveness as your mount, you reach horizons brighter than imagined. That's our story, from shock to serenity. A reckoning that redeemed.